I'm here in the Donna Gallery on the Upper East Side, and they have this fabulous exhibition, and it's called Moon Dancers, and it's the Yupik Mass and the Surrealists, correct?
Yupik, yes.
Yupik. So why don't you, this is your name?
I'm Donald Ellis.
And this is a collaboration between you and the gallery, so why don't you tell us a little bit about a couple of your favorite masks?
Well, the mask we're standing in front of right now was formerly in the collection of Enrico Donati, and I first discovered it about 30 years ago in his painting studio in the Gainsborough building on 59th Street, and was fortunate enough to develop a lifelong relationship with Mr. Donati, and acquired it after his passing at the age of 99 years old about 10 years ago.
Wow, God bless him.
This mask is one of 12 of what is known as the weather masks. There are 12 different masks by two different artists, all collected by the same man, a man by the name of Twitchell in Alaska in the late 19th and early 20th century. And were all sold to the Museum of the American Indian in around, I believe, 1919, and subsequently were sold by the Museum of the American Indian, the High Foundation, to a gallery owner their antique store owner by the name of Karl Bach, who sold them to surrealists.
Wow.
And this mask is known as the South Wind Mask, and it represents, it would have been used in a winter ceremonial to call the south wind. Because when the wind shifted out of the north into the south, that meant spring was coming. The ice is breaking up, the whales would return, and by that time
there's food, there's shelter.
There would be food. The larders would be running pretty low. This culture lived in the most barren and difficult landscape in North America, and consequently their ceremonial life all revolved around dealing with food, calling the spirits. So this is the only one in private hands. All the other 11 are in institutions, and it's generally considered to be the most important Yupik mask in private hands.
Wow, that is absolutely stunning. I love the feathers all around it as well. Now, that portion of Northwest Alaska, was that near where the Bering Straits used to be?
This is in the more southern part of Alaska.
Okay.
And there's a smaller area by the Yupik-speaking people, and up in the Bering Sea are the Inupiaq-speaking people. So this is in an area what we call Southeast Alaska.
Okay. All right then. This is great. So why don't you show me another one that you like very much? Oh, this is a nice piece.
This is a mask that was in the collection of Charles and Valerie Diker, which is being gifted to the Metropolitan Museum in October. Well, it's already been gifted, I suppose. On view in October. This mask, again, a larger scale mask. And what's interesting about this is that in every other Yupik mask known where there's a hand or hands featured, they're in an abstracted form, missing the thumbs and frequently with a hole in the palm. This mask is the only extant example that has realistically carved fingers and a thumb. These masks acted when worn by the dancer, it activated the dancer to be a conduit between the worlds, between the spiritual world and the physical world. And the makers of the masks and the shamans believed the reason why there were no thumbs is that they didn't want the intermediary to be able to grasp the food, the game as it was coming through. So this is why this one has a realistic feature like this, I do not know. Nobody seems to know. It's a one of, but puts it in a little bit of a category all on its own.
Wow, I like it though.
I do too.
It's excellent. And then the Mets getting it in October. That's very good. Now, was that a part of your collection as well?
I sold it to the Dikers, I think in 2007.
Okay. Oh, wow. So this is worth a lot of money.
It's all relative.
Okay. All right. Well,
While we have Emmanuel here, I thought you might want to meet him as well.
okay. All right.
He's the other half, or the other 2/3.
So now we have Emmanuel Donna with us, and he's going to share with us some paintings that were paired with some of the sculptural masks.
So here next to this mask that has been gifted to the Metropolitan Museum, we have a 1927 mural called La Sirène, which is the mermaid, and where you see some sort of female form with a fish, but in a very abstracted kind of way on a white background. A very pure, very simple, goes to like there's certain immediacy to the way it's been executed. So that's pure surrealism for Miro.
And the colors are great
The
too.
colors are great. I mean, it's I think that this pairing is a very successful pairing. With the Breton mask here, we have this wonderful work by Victor Brauner, who was a Romanian artist, and he lived in Paris, and he has this very interesting language by which he amalgamates humans and animals and creates those semi-abstract surrealist compositions, always very highly colored, really fun, which has, some sort of shares some similarity in spirit with this mask.
The eyes are distinct.
The eyes are very distinct. I mean, when you look at all the eyes between the masks and the paintings, there's something really, really, really fun to be seen.
So tell me about this piece. I like this piece very much. And the artist?
It's a beautiful André Masson. So André Masson moves to the U.S. in 1940 because of the Second World War. He comes here. He lives in Calder's studio. Calder and his family host him in here. And this is from the American period of Masson, which he mixes oil and sand, giving this very textural surface. And this painting is called Le Loup-garou, the werewolf. And you can see here the werewolf, you can see here the woman running.
Okay.
With a
I like the story.
Very fiery colors, this surrealist language of automatism, he is the inventor of automatic writing, and which influenced, Pollock and all the post-war abstract expressionist.
Oh, I love it. The fancifulness of the black and how it's creating that sort of language.
It's a really beautiful painting.
Yes, very fanciful. Any other works that you would like to recommend? I like this little piece too because it's paper, and I wanted to know what the symbolisms were in that.
Some sort of forms, creatures, you can see some sort of, if you look at this,
Yes.
the mirror,
They do, they look very similar.
And,
Very, very good. So what made you decide to do this particular exhibition at this time?
Well, Don had this idea of doing this exhibition for a while. He had the masks. He knew where all the masks were, and he came to me with a list of potential masks that he could get belonging to having been in the collection of some of the great surrealist artists. And looking at this, I got very excited by the idea and started looking for works of art that we could pair, juxtapose with those masks, and this is what came out.
Oh, I love how you laid this all out. This is really quite beautiful. Every time I come here, you get a different feel in the space, and this, I think, is quite stunning. Well, I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. All right.